Hi, Cigar Box guitar enthusiasts. This is Dr. Liza Sahido from Psyche Electro-Acoustic Opera Company. Welcome back to my channel. And thank you so much for sticking around for this, my big CBG reveal video featuring the piezo amped instruments I recently built for friends and family. Now, each one of my builds is different, but there are things that unify all of my CBGs. All of them are built with hand tools, which contributes to the rustic look, and I like to preserve as much of the art on the cigar boxes as possible. I don't seal the boxes and install little bow locks with hasp latches so that I have access to the inside of the box should I want to install upgrades like spring reverb or effects processing circuitry later on. Another thing I like to do is actually use the cigar box as a resonator, thus keeping the boxes as empty as possible and choosing the right strings for the instrument and using metal machine screws for the nut and bridge. I want to hear that special characteristic of the box and neck piece acoustically and when plugged in. That's why I prefer piezo pickups. The box, neck, and hardware contribute to the sound of the instrument with piezos. The same isn't true of magnetic pickups. Yes, this means that every one of my CBGs will have quirks in their sound, but these quirks make each instrument unique. As a composer, I like the idea of owning an instrument or instruments that are sonically unique, that produce sounds you can't easily get anywhere else. I'm not trying to build a guitar or an electric guitar. I think of my CBGs as their own thing. Yes, with piezo pickups, you will need a piezo preamp to hear the true sound being captured by your pickup. But you can build a preamp for cheap by watching my piezo preamp tutorial video. The last unifying characteristic of all of my builds is that they are all fretless. I use woodburn fret markers and scale degree markers to aid my playing, but there aren't any frets on my CBGs. I took classical guitar lessons in high school and found that fretting was not for me. As a non-guitarist, I've been able to get more mileage out of my fretless CBG playing one-finger melodies and chords with a slide than with a fully fretted guitar. So, having said this, however, every one of my builds sounds different. The same is true of any hand-built CBG. They all sound different. So, when you're shopping for a hand-built CBG, be sure to play it first or request recordings from the builder. I've made both acoustic and electric recordings of my new CBGs, and I recorded them acoustically with a Rode NT5 pencil condenser between the sound hole and the highest fret marker, which is typical approach to recording acoustic guitar. But unlike typical guitar recordings, I placed the NT5 less than a foot away from my instrument. These instruments could use a little help from proximity effect. Electrically, I recorded direct into my audio interface using my DIY piezo preamp. You'll hear more bass in my electric recordings. The piezo captures a lot of bass from the neck piece of the instrument. Again, that bass can only be heard if you're correcting the impedance issues of your piezo with a piezo preamp. While making these recordings, I discovered that the best way to record CBGs is to mix the acoustic and electric recordings together. So I'll be showing off my electric, acoustic, and electro-acoustic recordings in these reveals. So without any further ado, let's take a look at my new cigar box guitars. Introducing this rustic beauty made with a Tabac Especial Robusto Dulce cigar box. I intended this build for my husband because he likes Tabac Especial Robusto Dulce cigars, but he fell in love with the instrument I built for my father. So this guy is going to my friends at the local cigar shop who have gifted me tons of boxes. I have a box haul video coming up, so stay tuned for that. I'm particularly proud of the headstock that uses a matching cigar ring from Drew Estate, and I love the asymmetrical sound hole and the blank fingerboard. There are hidden fret and scale degree markings on the side of the neck to secretly aid the player, and it has a 25-inch scale length. I originally used strings 6, 5, and 4 from a light phosphor bronze set for this instrument, but decided to restring it with the higher and lighter 3, 2, and 1 strings, and it is acoustically louder now than it was before. Here's what the instrument sounds like direct through my piezo preamp, acoustically through a Rode NT5 pencil condenser, and as a mix of the electric and acoustic recordings. As you heard, this guy has a bite when strummed. The plucked high notes have a music box or bell-like tone that result from the bridge metal, allowing both sides of the string to vibrate freely. You'll find this to be a feature of all my treble CBGs, but some boxes will bring out those bell tones more than others. Next is the sleekest of my builds, and it features a black Perdomo box with a lacquered finish. I matched the lacquered look on the neck piece, but also included the hidden fret scale degree markings on the side neck to aid the player. It has a 25-inch scale length, but this guy has a scarf joint headstock, so I didn't need a string bar for this build. It still does have a rustic character with the machine screw, nut and bridge, and the golden wood screw reinforcing the connection between neckpiece and lid. Perdomo uses hard cardboard rather than wood for their lids, so the neckpiece and lid connection need to be reinforced beyond wood glue. This instrument is using strings 6, 5, and 4 from a light phosphor bronze set, and as you'll hear, it rattles, it scratches through strums and pluck notes. It is the meanest of all my CBGs. I'm gonna keep this guy for a little while, but it'll probably end up as a Christmas present for my Uncle Ray, who is a blues aficionado, or it may end up as one of the CBGs I sell at my local crafts markets. Next is my favorite build, featuring this Gilded Perdomo Habano box. This is the guitar I built for my father. The trim pattern on this cigar box reminds me of the rosette pattern on my dad's Spanish guitar, so naturally I had to make this instrument for him. It also has a 25-inch scale length, but the box is small, so I knew that only treble strings would work for this build. I would burnt in the frets and scale degree markings and use gold hardware except for the bridge and nut to match the gilding on the box. This CBG has a dulcimer-like sound, and the high pluck notes take on the character of music box or bells. Let's take a listen. Ending this reveal video with a bang is this resonant cigar box guitar made with an acid atom Maduro box. I intended this build for my Uncle Ray, but my husband has claimed it, and he's been playing it every day. It has a fat, resonant Drew Estate acid box, which is not long enough for bass strings, but sounds great with treble strings. I went crazy with the wood burning on this instrument. I love vine and flower patterns and experimented with inlaying an abalone shell in the headstock. I'm not completely happy with the results, but the attempt gave me the experience I needed to make nice inlays with shells and crystals in the future. I recently bought a batch of rough labradorite cabs for my future headstocks, and I'm very excited about that. This instrument has a crisp, folky sound, and its high string height makes it great for soloing and easy vibrato. Let's take a listen. So that's all for this reveal video. Stay tuned for my box haul video where we'll have some more fun talking about these wonderful instruments we call cigar box guitars. In the meantime, check out the audio, stage lighting, multimedia, music tech tutorials on this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Chaito.